Well, everybody, the check engine light on the Rav4 is seemingly fixed. And that issue is the same reason that I still have the Rav4 to this day, because I have to admit to you guys that I almost sold the Rav4. I listed the Rav4 for sale here locally and ended up getting quite an amount of interest, some from you guys that watch these videos. But I actually ended up taking the Facebook ad down, deciding that I did not want to say bye to my beloved Rav4 here. But I still had one very interested inquiry, and I told myself, if this one guy does not buy it, then I'll keep the Rav4 for sure. And I'm also sure you guys are definitely wondering why I would even list this vehicle for sale, something I describe as something so perfect for me. I make all these videos about it, so why would I list this vehicle for sale? Well, ultimately, listing the Rav4 was in preparation for switching the 1985 Toyota pickup to be my dedicated daily driver. And I thought, if the Toyota pickup is gonna be my daily driver, then I don't necessarily need two daily drivers. But I was really jumping the gun on that because I have no idea when the 1985 Toyota pickup will be ready to be daily driven at all. It's in pieces right now. It still needs to be painted. I'm putting thousands of dollars into the Toyota pickup currently, so I'm in no place to sell the Rav4 because I have nothing else that I want to daily drive as much as this vehicle right here, which is perfect. So if that makes sense, that is why I listed the Rav4 here. And that's also why I took the Rav4 down. That realization that I really don't need to sell the Rav4 yet. This guy in particular took a lot of thought over the Rav4, came and saw it multiple times before deciding he did want to buy it. The evening that he came to pick up the Rav4, he said, I want to test one more thing. So he brought a bottle jack, jacked it up, and he wanted to test the locking diff. The way in which he wanted to do this was jack it up, lock the diff, and the free wheel up in the air should not be able to freely turn in neutral at that point. But sure enough, when we jacked it up in the air, diff lock button wasn't doing anything. And to summarize, that was enough for him to no longer want the Rav4. So after he had left, it was the evening, and I was a little bummed and a little relieved at the same time that the Rav4 did not sell. No longer had any listings up for it for sale, and it was kind of a relief. But anyways, I was still thinking to myself, how is my diff lock button not doing anything? And was a little worried what could be going on. That evening, I started looking around the engine bay, doing lots of Googling and research to figure out what my problem might be to make the diff lock not actuate in any way. Possibilities were a blown fuse, vacuum leaks, or even more intricate issues, which was a little worrying. I checked every fuse. All the fuses looked great. I looked around at all the vacuum lines and still didn't see anything inherently wrong. Until last minute, I took a final peek and something caught my eye. So I can't remember the actual name for this, but these vacuum lines here all have to do with the vacuum actuator system for the diff lock. And I looked all along these lines, I followed them down, I didn't see anything wrong. Till my final look before closing the hood, when I thought all hope was lost, I saw this line on the bottom here had been disconnected. That really got my heart racing. I thought, have I fixed this problem that could have been a big issue that I had only just learned of this evening? So I was a little disappointed that the Rav4 didn't sell, a little relieved, but mostly I was worried that I just found out the diff lock was not working. I'm gonna be unplugging that vacuum line onto the bottom there. Once again. I heard a little hiss as vacuum pressure released. So that's how the vacuum line was when I found it. I connected that hose back up with a little hope that that was the issue. And I hopped in to drive it around the side of the shop to put it on the hoist to look more on the bottom. I had pressed the diff lock actuate button, and as I was driving down the gravel, I felt the tires grabbing when I turned. And I knew that the diff lock had started working. That, along with the beep that you're supposed to hear when you deactivate the diff lock. So I even gave the interested buyer a call and said, the diff lock issue has been fixed. But at that point, I think he'd already accepted that he was not buying the Rav4, and he said he was going to pass. Now on the drive home, I noticed that the check engine light was not there. And since that night, the check engine light has not reappeared. So I think that that vacuum line related to the diff lock actuating system may have fixed the check engine light issue. So be sure to stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below.